Hi friends, so I am back with episode 6 and this is gonna be the one that's like so tragic, just so tragic, just tragic. So for all that has heard or have heard, poor grammar, broke college student chronicles is so real, just so real. No matter how much money you have, no matter how little money you have, you will still sometimes be starving, sometimes just living off of ramen noodles. How do you even do that? One time, I'm not even gonna get into that. Sometimes you just make stuff that you didn't even think you would eat. I mean, you just be sitting at home at your parents' house or whoever house you stay with, and you would never eat what you would eat in college because you broke, okay? So this one is gonna be, of course, about making a budget. Like, y'all, if I would have known that even when you don't have an income, you need to make a budget, my life would have been so much better. And not even like an income. I'm talking about an income from like a job. You need a income to like have a budget. But like, I'm talking about not an income from a job, because at some point in my college career, I wasn't working and I didn't have an income. And even now that I be working. Even now that I'm working, I still don't have an income. I have no clue how I work so much or have so many jobs. I have 4 and I don't have no money. Ever. So sad. Well, we're about to correct that, because if I had a budget, everything would have been better and I wouldn't have to survive off of Top Ramen for my whole life. You know, like, the struggle is real when you open up your pantry in your apartment and all you see is Easy Mac and Top Ramen, and you had Easy Mac last night. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into like how to make a budget. I guess I would, but like not physically do it. I'm not gonna like show you like my budget and like do all of that crap. If y'all want a later video, I'm probably going to do that anyway with a later video, because I want to show y'all like how I make my schedule, and how I organize to keep up with stuff and all of that. So I'm basically going to do that later on and tell you how to make a budget. But this time, I have notes on this. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just remember that I like wrote some stuff down about this, so I would have it, so I wouldn't go off on too much of a tangent with this one, because I could talk about money and college all day. So just a little background information. Freshman year, I wasn't working. Freshman year, first semester, I wasn't working. I didn't have like a governed source of income. My family is like very supportive of everything I do and all of my dreams, so they support me emotionally, physically, and financially. So I did have an income like monthly or whenever I needed it from my my family. So even then, if I would have budgeted, like if I would have known how much money they were giving me and then like made a budget of everything that I needed to do and what I didn't need to do, you know, with that money at that time, I probably would have been a lot better off, because I know like sometimes they would give me money for like groceries, and then I would buy groceries and then realize that I didn't have like basic stuff, other stuff that I needed. So like if I would have written down or like budgeted out, like, okay, if they giving me $300, like I'm gonna spend $150 on groceries, and then the rest of it I'm gonna spend on my personal items and like other stuff that I might need, or like new notebooks or pencils, whatever I need just stuff like that. Like you'll never know like how much money you need to set aside for the randomness until you get to college. Like you can be balling. I mean, you could have all sorts of money, and then you randomly come into class, and then you look in your bag, and you ain't got no pencil or a pen or something, and you just don't even think about that when you getting paid or something. I don't. Money in college is just too much. So back to the notes. Lord. So I guess it would be, my first point would be, you need to like make a budget, whatever. So how I would suggest you do it, and I learned this technique from my nana. She is like, she just got her stuff together when it comes to her money. Like she budget everything out. She's able to support her grandkids. She's able to do whatever she needs to do because she knows how to manage money. So one time and it was recently too, I just learned this, y'all. Like this knowledge is fresh. But one time I was sitting there talking to her, and she was like, she has this little nook downstairs where she has her laptop, her computer and everything like that. She does all her bills and stuff. And when she says she's going to do bills, I'm like, okay, she's about to go like transfer money to like a billing company. Cool. But literally she like sits down and like pays a certain amount and does this and does that and like writes everything down and has this notebook, and it was just like, whoa, what are you doing? So I had to ask her. She explained this to me and my life changed. Okay, my life has changed. When I say homegirl got a savings, how I got a savings, Lord. Okay, so I would say the first thing she said was to sit down and like get you a notebook, one notebook that you're going to dedicate only to money. Do not have nothing else in there. Do not have your grocery list in there. Do not have how many times you did this in there. Don't have how long your hair is in there. Like don't be doing all of that. Just have one notebook for your money, and go page by page and say like June at the top, July at the top, whatever. Go by month, and you literally list all your expenses, the money, everything, and the title of it, like electric bill, which I don't have, thank the Lord. You can be spending like $400 on that. So like you'll put electric bill, $400, and then you put the due date, because if you're going by month, like they're not all gonna be due on the same day unless you go by like days, and that's just a lot. So basically you would do like pencils, $5 by the next time in class, like by the next class I have, like that's your due date, like you're gonna need pencils. And you do that, you go down the list, you do all of that, you calculate it at the bottom, you get a subtotal. Then at the bottom of that, you go and say monthly income. My parents, my grandparents, my job, my on the side hustle, source of income, whatever, my YouTube, whatever. Put all that money over there, put the days that you're going to get the money, and then put your subtotal, girl, and hope that the two subtotals are either the same or the bottom one is greater than the top one, because Lord, if it's not, you're gonna have a problem. Then you need to make sure you cover your expenses. So like I was saying, with the expenses at the top, having all of that, doing all that, like say for instance your monthly expenses, let's be realistic here, for college, if you don't pay for college, like if you have grants and loans and scholarships, you might not have to pay anything, let's say for food and stuff. So let's just say you need $150 a month. Like this is whatever you spend it on, this is your food, this is very low. And then your monthly income is like $300 a month. That's cool, you know, you don't work too much, you don't do too much, you probably don't work at all if you only get 300, but whatever. Let's say that is that. So then you subtract your income from your expenses, that'll be $150. And then, is that $150? Yeah. Yeah. That would be $150. And then you go and that's like your monthly. The $150 is your monthly spending / saving amount. So don't ever go over that. Don't go, like, try to keep it under that. If you can only spend half of that, that'd be great. If you could save 3/4 of that, that'd be awesome. So what you do is you say, oh, well, the way I do it is I do that whole technique that I just said, and then I might have like $200 left over, and then I'm like, oh shoot, $200, like, what have I been really wanting lately? And then if it's nothing there, which probably is not realistic, if I don't have anything that I really have been wanting, I go and be like, okay, well, what do I need? I mean, not what do I need, but like, what do I want to do? Like, what do I want to go do? Do I want to go hang out with my friends? Do I want to go like out somewhere? Do I want to go to the mountains? Do I want to go to the beach? And then I like either save for the beach or save for a trip, or I go and say, hey friends, do you guys want to go out? Do you guys want to do this? This rarely happens because I am broke, okay? And then we'll do that. It's important to keep this organized. Like I said, keep this in a notebook where you only use it for this. So that way, not only can you keep track, like if you save per month, which I highly recommend, like there will be some days in college where like you look at your bank account and you got 32 cents or less, and you just over here, your stomach growling. I'm not trying to say like it's real bad, but literally you will experience this at least once in your whole college career. So you need to like set aside money. I think me saving has been the best decision I've ever made as far as my money goes, because now when things get low in my checking account, I'll look at my savings and at least know that I have money and find comfort in that, rather than looking at my checking and my savings and like, okay, all together what's 12 cents plus 32 cents. Like you don't want to do that. So go ahead, even if it's like $5, $10, like that will come in handy, especially like if you have a car or something, like you might need gas. Is just a lot of different stuff. So make sure you save some money, because you're gonna need it, and if you don't need it, you're gonna want to have money at all points in times. I want you to understand that this is my technique, this is my YouTube channel, this is my pedestal. I'm just trying to help y'all out with this advice that I thought that I needed when I was younger, or like, well, I guess I was younger, but like when I was in the first year of my college experience, and I really wish that I had this information. So critique this to your needs. Don't feel like you need to go exactly by my book, and if you do, fine, great, I'm glad I helped you completely. And if you don't, like, I encourage that, like, critique it to how you want to do it, because even though I didn't get into my expenses and my like actual income, like it's still like you might make $500 a month, you might make $2,000 a month, or you might not even have an income and you just want to be in this position where you at least know how to do this, so don't feel like you need to follow mine rules by point A, point B, but I will suggest that this really helped me, and not suggest, but I will say that this really helped me, and this really allows me to do the things that I want to do now. Like, I'm currently about to buy a Mac, and before I would not even think about that because I never saved, and now that I saved and have a savings, I'm able to like budget, and like in a couple weeks I'm gonna be able to like have a Mac and have money left over because I saved. So it's just the little things, and the little things that you want to do for yourself, and just understand that making this budget is probably going to be a lifesaver regardless, and you're gonna be a lot more happy because you're gonna eventually get the things that you want and need. And it's very depressing to be sitting there and looking at your account, and like I said earlier, I'm telling you, 32 cents was my staple, my whole monthly statement for a month one time. It was real bad. So you gotta do it. You gotta do it for yourself, and you gotta understand your needs and what you want. So that's all I have to say about a budget. I can, like I said before, I will try to put together, maybe not talk about my expenses, but I mean at least show you my techniques to doing it with X amount of dollars in it and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you really like this video. If you want to hear more stories about just craziness in college and budgets and adulting and things that you have to learn when you go to college. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.